Have you ever looked at your own hands and they felt like they belonged to someone else? Or walked down the street, seeing people, cars, trees, and all of it looked like a stage set, like you were in a movie or in a dream, but you just couldn't wake up. Maybe you were sitting at home in a familiar room and suddenly everything around you felt unreal. And so did you. And the first thought was, something is wrong. Something broke. Something broke inside me. I know this feeling. I know what it's like to wake up in the morning and the very first thing you do is check, am I even here? Do I feel like myself? I know that fear. That quiet, sticky fear. What if this never goes away? I went through this, and I came out the other side. In this video, I'm going to tell you my story. How ordinary stress or renovation work pressure waiting for a baby turned into one of the strangest and most frightening periods of my life. How I got stuck in a loop, how I fell deeper, and most importantly, how I got out. If you're going through this right now, watch until the end. This matters. Okay. If you Googled depersonalization, derealization, you most likely landed on articles saying something like, associated with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, severe trauma, PTSD, and you're like, great, thanks, internet. But here's what's important to understand. If you're watching this video, in 99% of cases, that's not your story. Depersonalization and derealization are symptoms, yes, but they happen to completely ordinary people. No diagnoses, no psychiatry, just moments when the brain gets too much to handle. So let's skip the scary words. Let me explain how this actually works. Your brain is a very smart thing. When there's too much stress, it switches into something like a protective mode, like a fuse in a breaker box. It trips the circuit so the wiring doesn't burn out. And this protective mode, it partially shuts down your perception, dulls it, like a thin film appears between you and reality. But here's the thing. The people who fall into this state are usually not simple people. Quite the opposite. People who are used to thinking a lot, who constantly analyze themselves, who have a never-ending inner dialogue running in their head. Let me guess, you're very prone to self-reflection. You love turning thoughts over in your mind, and your best friend is your own inner voice that you have long conversations with. Derealization is when the world around you feels unreal, flat, distant, like a stage set. Depersonalization is when you yourself feel unreal. You look at your hands and they feel like they belong to someone else. The thoughts are there, but the feeling that you are you is gone. And you know what's the most insidious part? On its own, this state is not dangerous at all. Your brain simply overheated and switched on its protection. But that's exactly when you start clinging to it, noticing it, checking, is it still here? What about now? And now? And that's where the real problem begins. Not the state itself, but your reaction to it. But we'll get to that in a moment, because that's exactly what happened to me. The first time it happened to me, I was still young. I didn't even know what it was called back then. First date. I was so nervous, so desperate to make a good impression that at some point I just checked out. I'm sitting across from this girl, she's talking, and I'm watching the whole situation from the outside. Like it's not me sitting there, like I'm observing myself in a movie. Strange feeling, but it passed quickly. I chalked it up to nerves and forgot about it. Then, exams. Same thing, peak stress, and there it was again. The world pulls back a little. I pull back from myself a little. Finished the exam, walked out, it let go. I didn't think much of it. Just one of those things. Nerves. And you know what? That was actually the right approach. I just didn't cling to it. I didn't know it was something. So, it went away on its own. Life moved forward, work, relationships, plans. Those episodes stayed somewhere far behind. I barely thought about them. But then came a moment when everything hit at once, and that time I couldn't just walk past it. Picture this: a renovation, work, and my wife expecting a baby. Each one of those already stressful on its own, but all three at the same time. I held it together, tried not to show how hard it was. I'm a guy you just push through. And then one of those evenings, exhausted on edge, I sat down to watch a movie, just to switch off. The film was called Still Alice. A woman in her 50s starts noticing the first symptoms of Alzheimer's. She forgets words, loses the thread of conversations, can't remember where she was going. The actress played it so well I just couldn't look away. And at some point something clicked in my head. What if that's me? Do I remember what this street is called? What did I do yesterday morning? Why did I just forget the word I was about to say? The movie ended, but something inside me didn't switch off. The next day I started checking myself, just lightly. Do I remember names? Dates? Is everything still there? I did. Everything was there, but the anxiety didn't go away. So I checked again. That's the OCD pattern: obsession and compulsion. Anxious thought check. Brief relief, anxious thought again. The loop closes, and with every loop it gets a little tighter. And then on top of all of this, derealization hit. I was walking down the street and the world suddenly went flat, distant, like a drawing. I knew it was my street, my neighborhood, but the feeling of it being mine was gone. I kept noticing objects that were exactly where they should be, but somehow felt like they weren't there yesterday. Oh, how I loved, in air quotes, the feeling of déjà vu. It scared me to my core and cemented the thought in my head that it was time to pack a bag and check myself into a psych ward. And that's when everything blurred into one big mess. Fear of Alzheimer's, the feeling of unreality, exhaustion from the renovation and work, worry about my wife and the baby on the way, and one main question, going round and round day and night. What if this is forever? What if this is forever? I think this is the most universal fear for everyone who goes through this. It's not the state itself that's scary, it's the thought that it won't go away, that this is now your new reality. I remember watching other people and thinking they're just living, going somewhere, laughing, talking, and I'm standing there trying to feel that I'm here too, that I'm real too, and the harder I tried, the worse it got. Because that's exactly where the trap is. When you're afraid of the state, you watch it. When you watch it, you notice it constantly. When you notice it constantly, it doesn't go anywhere. And since it doesn't go anywhere, you get even more afraid. This is not a vicious cycle. This is a trap. And I was stuck in it for several months. If you're watching this right now and thinking, this is about me, know this. I got out of this trap. And I'm about to tell you how. The first thing I did was go see a specialist. Just kidding, I went to see one after 6 months of hell when every link in Google was already red. And on the panic attack forum, I had a rating like the site administrator, a therapist, and antidepressants. Yes, I took antidepressants, and I'm not ashamed of it. When your body is under stress for months on end, the brain chemistry actually changes. Antidepressants don't turn you into a vegetable, and they don't change your personality. They simply bring the background level of anxiety down to the point where you can think normally again. It helped, but that wasn't the main part. They just brought me back to baseline. I stopped being so terrified of my own state. But they can't cure it. The main thing my therapist told me, and what I couldn't accept for a long time, went something like this: stop checking completely. And I was like, easy to say. How do you stop when it's right there? And this is where it's important to understand one thing: derealization and depersonalization. They feed on attention, literally. The more you look at them, the more space they take up in your head. The less you look, the less space they take. This doesn't mean think positive. It doesn't mean just don't think about it. It means stop measuring. Stop asking yourself every 5 minutes, so how am I feeling right now? The most important shift in my head happened when I said to myself, okay, let it be there. I'm not going to fight it. Not, I embrace this with joy. Not, I love this state. Just let it sit in the background. I'm moving on. This is called acceptance. And it sounds simple, but in practice, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Because every time it hit, the instinct screamed, check, make sure, do something. And I was learning to answer no. I just keep doing what I was doing. And gradually, very gradually, the state started coming less often. Then even less. Then I noticed that a whole day had passed and I hadn't checked myself once. Then a week, then I just forgot about it. Not because I won, but because I stopped fighting. You know what else really helped me? TV shows, books, video games, but not the way you might think. Not a marathon. Not, I'll watch everything in one night to distract myself. The exact opposite: one episode, one chapter, one boss in the game. Here's the thing. Your brain is constantly chewing on something. When you're in a state of derealization, it chews on anxiety, checking, monitoring, going round in circles. The goal is to give it something else to chew on, something interesting, something it won't want to put down. When you stop an episode at an interesting point, your brain spends the whole day thinking about what happens next, about the characters, about the plot, about the next boss, not about whether I'm real right now. This isn't escapism, it's attention-switching practice. Small, but it works. Now I still have episodes. Yes, even now. Sometimes the world goes a little distant, a little glassy for a couple of minutes, but I know what it is. I know it will pass, and I just keep doing what I was doing. No panic, no monitoring, just, okay, hey, I know you keep moving. If you're going through this right now, I want you to hear one thing. This will pass. Not because I say so, but because the way out is already inside you. You don't need to defeat this state. You just need to stop fighting it. Accept it. Live alongside it. Give your brain something else to chew on. And one day you'll notice that a whole day went by and you didn't check yourself once. And at some point you realize you didn't defeat this state. It just stopped being interesting to you. And that's exactly when it disappears.